All right, long division. Do you remember doing 3052 4 over 6? Do you remember doing this back in the day?
No.
Okay, let's redo that. How do we do that? Put the 6 on the outside. We put the 352 23,524 on the inside, right? Okay. Then you ask yourself, does 6 go into 3? No. So does 6 go into 35? How many times does 6 go into 35? Sorry? 5 times. Very good. So I multiply the diagonal. 6 times 5 is 30. And then what do I do now? We subtract. So 35 take away 30 is 5. Now I'm going to drop down the 2. How many times does 6 go into 52? Okay. 6 times 8 is? Subtract on that vertically. What does that give me?
4.
Drop down to 4. How many times does 6 go into 44? 7. Multiply diagonally. That's going to give me a 42. Subtract. That gives me 2. What is the 2 understood to be? Well, it could be, but this is known as what? What is its name? Starts with an R. Remainder, right? Remainder. That is your remainder. So we're going to take our remainder, which is 2, and put it over our divisor, which is 6. So 587 and 2 6 reduces down to what? Yep. Which is the same thing as 587.33 repeating, yes?
Yep.
So all of those are equivalences, okay? So we're going to take that same process that you just learned there, that you've known since grade school, probably what? 3rd grade, maybe? I don't know, 4th grade. And we're going to do that with polynomials. Okay, we're going to do that with polynomials. We're going to do long division with polynomials. Same exact thing applies. However, when you do this, you are going to look for your highest degree, and you're going to make sure you're not missing any exponents. So this is degree 3, degree 2, degree 1, and degree 0. We're okay. Do we all understand I'm not missing any variables? Okay. So I'm going to put my divisor of x minus 2 on the outside, and my numerator on the inside. Now, what do we multiply x by to get a 6x cubed? But I need a 6x cubed. 6x squared.
Yeah.
So we're going to put the 6x squared above the x squared position of the 19 there. Did you see that? And now we're going to multiply the diagonal just like we did previously. However, this is a binomial. Did we see that? So we're going to mentally distribute this. So 6x squared times x gives me a 6x cubed. Do we all see that? Yay or nay? 6x squared times a negative 2 is going to give me what? Negative 12x squared. Good. Now, in the previous example, what did we do vertically? We subtracted. Okay? So we're going to subtract a quantity of 2 terms. So what am I actually doing there? I'm distributing the negative and changing each of these signs. So this is going to become a negative 6x and a positive 12x squared. Do you see that? Add straight down. The 6x cubes cancel out. And what's negative 19x squared plus 12x squared? Negative 7x squared. And drop down everything else, the rest of the polynomial. Yes? All right, now do it all over again. What do I multiply x by to get a negative 7x squared? Negative 7x. And what do we do on the diagonal? What do we do on the diagonal? Multiply, right? So negative 7x times x gives me what? Negative 7x squared. Negative 7x times negative 2 gives me a positive 14x. Now, we are going to subtracting quantity, which means what are you actually doing to every term in that second line there? You're changing the sign of it, right? So this makes that a positive 7x squared and a minus 14x. Add straight down. Those cancel out, and you're left with a 2x minus a 4. Yes? Do it again. What do I multiply x by to get a 2x? A 2. So this is a plus 2. What do I do on the diagonal? Multiply. So what is 2 times x? 2x. What is negative 2 times positive 2? Negative 4. And what do I do now? So change the signs and make that a negative 2x and make that a positive 4. And add straight down. And I have 0. What does the 0 represent? Our remainder. So you know what this means? The x minus 2 is a factor of that original numerator of 6x cubed minus 19x squared plus 16x minus 4. Okay, they go into it evenly. Shall we do it again? Let's do it again. I'm going to be honest, this takes up some paper because it's obviously, it takes up a lot of paper, doesn't it? It does. Okay, what do we notice about this numerator? It's a power of 3. So since it's a power of 3, my question is, do I have a power of 2 in it? I'm missing it, so I need to put a placeholder in there. So I'm going to put my divisor of an x minus 1 on the outside, and I'm going to drop down the x cubed, but I don't have an x squared, so I'm going to make that a 0x squared. Do I have an x to the first? So I'm going to make that a 0x. Do I have a constant term? Yes, it's minus 5, so just drop that down. Did you see how we put placeholders in for every single place, every variable that was missing the power? Yes? Okay, by putting those placeholders in, it's going to make everything line up more easily for us. And we'll combine like terms appropriately then. Okay, so here we go. What do I multiply x by to get an x cubed? X squared. So I'm going to go ahead and put the x squared over top of the 0x squared position. Do we all see that, yay or nay? What do I do on the diagonal? Multiply. So x squared times x gives you x squared times negative 1 gives you? Now what do I do to those terms? Subtract them, which means I'm changing this to become a negative x cubed and this become a positive x squared. What do I do now? Add straight down, those cancel out, and this is going to give me a 1x squared plus a 0x minus a 5, dropping everything else down. Yes? Now what? What do I multiply x by to get an x squared? By an x. So this is going to be plus an x here. What do I do on the diagonal? X times x is? X times negative 1 is? Negative x. What do I do to my polynomial I just made there? Change the signs and make that a negative x squared and a positive x. Add straight down, those cancel out, and I'm left with an x minus a 5. Now what? Do it again. So what do I multiply x by to get an x?
1.
A 1, right? So this is going to be plus 1. 1 times x is going to be x. 1 times 1 is going to be negative 1. What do I do with my signs there? Change them to make that a minus x and a plus 1. Those cancel out, and I'm left with a negative 4. What is that negative 4 going to be? Your remainder. So what you're going to have up here is going to be plus a negative 4, and then put it over your divisor, which is going to be x minus 1. This is your answer. Make sense? Okay, I'm going to do one last one, and this is a homework problem. This is one of your homework problems for tonight for homework.
Yeah.
You ready? Okay, I'm going to put my divisor on the outside. X squared minus 2x plus 3. Okay, now look at your numerator. What's my highest power?
4.
4. So I have an x to the 4th. Do I have an x cubed up there?
No.
So what do I put in there? A placeholder of 0x cubed. Do I have an x squared? Yes, so I drop down the 3x squared. Do I have an x to the 1st?
No.
No, so I put a 0 in there. And do I have a constant? Yes, which is a 1. Okay. Let's go. What do I do first?
Things.
I do things. What things do I do?
I have to multiply that by x squared, but you're going to put it over the 3x squared.
Excellent job. I need to multiply x squared by an x squared, so I'm going to go ahead and put that over the 3x squared position here. I'm going to multiply on the diagonal, but this time I'm going to distribute the x squared into all 3 terms on the outside, yes? So x squared times x squared is x to the 4th. X squared times negative 2x is going to be a minus 2x cubed. X squared times 3 is going to be plus 3x squared. What do I do to all of those terms?
Multiply them by
So I'm changing their signs. And then what do I do? Add straight down, right? Those cancel out. 2x cubed. 3x squareds cancel out. I'm going to make that a 0x squared. Why? Because I want to have that placeholder there. Do y'all understand that? The x squared terms cancel out, but I want to make sure that I still have the x squared there, so I'm going to make that a 0x squared for a placeholder. What do I multiply x squared by?
X.
Very. Come on, keep coming with me.
2x.
2x, because I can't just have an x cubed, I have to have a 2x cubed, right? So I'm going to multiply that by a 2x. So 2x times x squared is going to give me a 2x cubed. 2x times negative 2x is going to give me a negative 4x squared. 2x times 3 gives me a, yep, 6x. What do I do? Change the signs of the bottom one, so that becomes a negative 2x cubed, a positive 4x squared, and a negative 6x. Yes?
Yep.
Go ahead and cancel out the x cubes. 4x squared and 0x squared gives me a 4x squared minus a 6x plus a 1. Okay, what do I multiply x squared by to get a 4x squared?
4.
A 4. Okay, 4 times x squared is? Very good. 4 times negative 2x is? Negative 8x. 3 times 4 gives me? 12. What do I do with all of those signs? It becomes a negative, that becomes a positive, and that becomes a negative. Those cancel out. 2x minus 11. Correct? Now, with that being said, what is the 2x minus 11? Why do I know that's my remainder? Because my degree of my remainder is smaller than my degree of my divisor. Do we understand that? So my answer is simply going to be x squared plus 2x plus 4 plus a 2x minus 1 numerator over the denominator of x squared minus 2x plus 3. This is my answer. Do we all see that, yes or no? Does that make sense? That's how you do number 8 in tonight's homework. What is tonight's homework?
It's in the book.
It is in the book. 1 through 12 all. Yep. Does everybody have this homework? That is tonight's homework. Any questions? Excellent.